this happens again, I'll be honest, they just lack a guy that makes an analysis of their games, because it's really
and Bone Cold said that they drew inspiration from Fnatic for this comp, but of course they're going to want to not do a Fnatic today and qualify. They are just one map away from Masters. Mitch and Alothar take us.
Well, here we are on Bind, ready to see if OG are in a bind. This map we've seen go incredibly well for Raise Your Edge in the past on the defensive side versus Rick's GG, most recently Lothar. You might remember that game because Raise Your Edge had a 9-3 half and lost the map. Their attack was less than great. Let's hope they've improved since then as we start out the pistol round here. But OG are on attack. They're up against Raise Your Edge's incredibly strong defense, and they're going to have to do something special compared to what we saw in the previous map. Starting it out, it looks like everybody likes the B side. 4 players from the defensive side, plus 1 on the way. But Raise Your Edge are quickly approaching them. Straight away, down below, jumping out of Hookah right into Bone Cold's arms. Kills going their way. Raise Your Edge dominating in the early fight. Starzo isolated a little bit, but no one's pushing. They're letting these fights happen one at a time, and this is not what we wanted to see from OG. It's all down to just one man, Tvik. The heals are coming in. He knows he's in trouble, and around the corner come the players to finish this one off.
Oh, this is really off-timed. I would say like that. The entire round was meant to be like collapsing the moment after that paranoia hits the garden. But Anko actually goes first on site. I'm not sure what happened there on garden to stop that push, but something had to happen there, right? Because 3 players on A long were just not pushing garden after the paranoia. Maybe they got hit by it. It's uncertain, but that was the moment where Anko and Cypher player, who's playing Cypher, that's Onibai, he should have pushed together with that push from long, and that didn't happen, and the entire round just failed. And now there's 4 people pushing B long as well.
Oh, they are on their way. The molly slows them down a little bit, though. OG caught behind it, and that's going to pump the brakes of the team. Raise Your Edge haven't yet spotted out this control, and there's the flash. It confirms even though one player's TP'd, there's still more here. And it sort of destroys the fake that OG were going for, now facing into a couple of fights and not really getting a whole bunch for it. As Sova comes to rejoin his forces, there may be no forces left to come back to. They're just being torn apart on this eco. And, well, looks like we might have a flawless on our hands.
I guess so. Tvik again. Last one on alive with 12 HP, probably not for long. Is being pushed. He tries to get that 1 kill, which could be impactful for that utility. But now, look at that. CNET is gonna play an operator. Maybe not this run. Never mind. He actually rebuys the armor as well. So full commitment. There's confidence coming right now. This is the factor that we didn't see before, because we didn't see Raise Your Edge just play defense at all, basically. But now, CNET is the force to be reckoned with, and we need to pay attention if he is impactful on this round.
Absolutely. We want to see CNET get off to a good start. Or I suppose it depends. We also want to see OG give us a 3rd map, so there's a lot to be desired in this one. But CNET with the operator, man, he had I don't even want to say he had a slow map, but statistically, it was one of his worst maps, I guess you could say, but they dominated. They didn't even need CNET to show up, and now they might have everything going their way over on Raise Your Edge if this operator is able to deal the damage. Tasmanian Tiger spotting out AKM. That's a bit of a jump scare every time it comes around the corner if you're not hearing it coming. Right up in his face, taking him down onto, 90 HP, but it's the armor stripped off as well. You lose about 30, and that's going to hurt you in some fights. For OG, they're looking at the B site. With open arms, they'll be welcome, though, because the defenders have rotated in a 3rd player to hold off on this site. And Brimstone's also very close to his ultimate at this point. They don't compete overly for long, but they're happy to play passive. He might be just 1 kill away. I think Bone Cold has done a lot. And if that's the case, well, 1 kill in the round could be in dire straits straight away. Starzo inside the tube, wants to pop the flash out on the right side, blinds up some of the opponents. Here's another flash. There's a player blind as can be, and Starzo takes him down, even with the Spectre. 2 towards elbow and an op supporting him from behind. This is looking like a pretty strong B defense, and OG make that read and bail out towards A. But look who's still waiting for them. Unko ready to catch off Bone Cold and go to his teammate. teammates. Killaz in the corner, not spotted, wall up, they come through. Down goes the Toxin screen. Killaz grabs one, they still don't know. And so he drops the spike as well. The snake bite leaves Unco taking double damage. They've got to plant that spike now, and there's no time. They've wasted it all away. They dropped the spike just for good measure, but I think he'd already ran out at that point.
Yeah, that's tough to watch. You know, it's like there's no synergy right now between the OG players. They want to execute a plan, but there's always something off the timer, you know, off the timing, and they're not pushing exactly how they would like to push. And Starkso, I feel like he was MVP on this round because of those two flashes that just stopped an entire push on site. Cypher was basically killed without doing anything because he was straight out of the window on B and just flashed for like 5 seconds or something like that. It just dies. It was very close anyway because Starkso missed few first shots, but them losing a player like that was basically giving away the entire attack. And now they are gonna have a very tough round ahead of them. CNET tried to go for that early peak. Didn't get the kill. If I'm not mistaken, it was a leg shot.
I threw the wall, I think, as well, so that player is fairly... Or maybe it wasn't actually, sorry, because he's healed himself up, so yeah, I think just a pure leg shot.
It's tough. It's tough. OG has to find the place, but if I would have to make a call, I would say that this map is gonna be very similar to what we've seen from Raise Your Edge before on Bind. They're gonna have a very dominant half on defense, but then the question is how well they can execute with their composition and attack, and we have, you know, double guessed them already. Onco goes through this snakebite. Is that the previous match when we have seen Fnatic and Ballista play?
Tell you
People
what,
pushing through snakebite.
Bone Cold's got his ult now. After that little 3K, I'm sure of it. This is so I don't mind that as much. The fight that we had in the previous game, they actually intended to fight the players' lamps. Right there, they were hoping the invulnerability would be gone before they made it to site, but because of the aggression that Raise Your Edge took, they ran into a player. So it's not as bad, shall we say, as it was from Ballista, just going, to hell with your snake bite, I'm coming for you.
I was just trying to make a joke more about it, but this is nuts. Seen it with the opening kill on AKM. The entire attack just falls apart now, and one of the lanes on Bind are just being cut off by Viper. I'm not the biggest fan of the ultimate on showers. I prefer to have it on A short, but this is basically just stopping a push from the showers, like, at all. Look at the minimap. The entire showers isn't an ultimate. So if you want to push through that and you want to do it quietly, you're gonna be at the exit point of showers with 1 HP. Then a single snake bite kills everyone coming from that.
I'll say the thing I like about Bath over mid is with mid, they can TP or get up close to, for example, it depends where you put it, but there's no way to tell before it goes down, unless you're certain it could maybe go over to lamps as well. Whereas this way, you're holding a choke point and you don't need to hold it. You know no one's going to push through that. Like, nobody's crazy enough. And so you can support, like, on a 3-man fight as they come out mid. It can be, I mean, it's really down to how you're set up around it that matters the most. Starzo with the cage, and he flashes through it. I love that from Sky, as Starzo takes a triple kill and looks to make it 4. Unco in with his own triple, but now he's left on 30 HP. That is not ideal, and caught in the shadow step, CNET takes him down. You can see the small delay before he pushed out, both waiting for his teammate, but also saying, are you sure? Are you sure this guy's 1 HP? Okay. And then runs out jumping with a classic.
Very well played by Starkso. Really love the way that he did the pop flash using his opponent's utility for his advantage, basically. This is how we want to play Sky in both attack and defense, just taking opportunities like that. Use the Viper Wall, use the Brimstone Smokes, Omen Smokes, everything that can get you a little bit of space on the side and then just push with it. Remember, this is not a flash like from Phoenix. It doesn't decrease the equip time on your weapon, so you still have to sacrifice an entire second when you're pulling out a Vandal or a Phantom, but your opponent is blinded for a longer time than that. So this is where Starkso just gets a free kill, essentially. So well played by him, and he puts that round on the map for Raise Your Edge.
It looks like we got a little bit of that tech issue going on. And I mean, at the moment, I think OG are going to be happy, even if it's Raise Your Edge with the tech issue. just to be able to sit back and have a little bit of a breather. They need an escape at this point. They've managed to find 3 rounds across more than 20, which is less than ideal if you want to be winning. But
Oh yeah.
we've been told that the tech issue is on OG's part, so hopefully they'll have that fixed and be ready to go soon. I'm sure the rest of the team, while people are unplugging and plugging things back in, are having a little bit of a chit-chat about what they need to do.
Oh, by the way, I just got a message from the production that the previous map was around 29 minutes mark, so it wasn't faster than the G2 match.
We didn't beat them. We didn't beat them. We were close. That's that one round where they saved. It messed us up.
Oh yeah, oh man. I would have been close. Right.
But yeah, no, this is an upsetting situation for like a number of reasons. But I have to say that if you're OG, you're really, let's frame it this way. You're looking at the defense and knowing when they swap to attack, they will be weaker. Like this is categorically their best half right now. The problem is if you lose 12-0, doesn't really matter. Like,
I don't think it matters. Your mental game is in the gutters, you know, and you have to pull out the 12-0 as well. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. But hey, I feel like this is gonna end up 9-3, 10-2 to raise your edge, and then we'll see how well they will perform on attack. But they are on a roll, and CNET again with the opening frag. What is going on?
yeah, I think we need to jump in the game. At least I can see the game feed, but there we go. We got it.
Here we go.
So,
Okay,
we missed out on opening kill going on long. We're back into a 5 versus 4, and at this point, if you're sitting down as OG, you've got control over the site, but you're losing players left, right, and center. You got to make a move and recover these disadvantages, or the power of numbers is going to overwhelm you. That's why they take elbow, rush in and find the frags, but still a little bit more needs to be done. Onibai was low HP, caught in the corner and eliminated. Both players now over towards elbow. This is a tough one to win out. They're gonna just tank it. That's a death. Oh, it's not even a death actually. And oh, CNET, what? He goes through the smoke. They'd won this round either way, let's be clear. But he just jumps in, right click and knives into their face. That is insane. 6-0 and relatively clean as well. Raise Your Edge have got a fair bit of cash now, don't they?
They're rolling in cash. They're like Scrooge McDuck right now with the entire bank, you know? They can just jump into some banknotes and coins and just swim around. And CNET with the quadruple kill, right? He got the entry kill, then he gets a second kill on Cypher through the crack between the Sage wall and the entrance of site, and then he gets a double kill with the right click. Ridiculous. While jumping. I mean, you know, the ultimate has no recoil. Like, it's basically 100% accurate if you do it with the left click, even while jumping. While the right click has a little bit of a spread, but still, when someone is up close like that, there's a very high chance he's gonna die to the right click straight away.
Oh man, 6-0. It's tough. You know, we want to see those 3 rounds on the board for OG, and they could maybe make that comeback with the lackluster attack, shall we say, from Raise Your Edge that we've seen before. But based on how things have been going so far, I'm not having faith in them, and I hope they haven't lost it in themselves. All of Hookah's cleared out at this point as AKM looks to push forward and make some presence. The rest of his team rotating over. So it does look like, for the moment, this is intended to be a B hit. They've dragged the rotations, but now that they slow things down after making basically no presence and a recon dart sees nothing on long, they're confident to just rotate back and play the A site. They've spotted one on long. Smoke goes down. Recon drone rather confirms the second player to be here. Now they know about Sage too. There's 3 players on long, and that information is there to play with for Raise Your Edge. Excuse me. So if you're OG, decision time means you probably run into a stack if you take the B side, but you can't rotate to A quickly enough. They decided to proceed forward and try to overwhelm them, but time is so low. There's 10 seconds left. A recon dart to back site is going to reveal absolutely everybody. They rush in on the back of the squids, and Onibai, he catches a side flank, picks off a player, and buys them that opening they need. Still though, players stuck on the site. They haven't taken good post-plant positions. They've got to win the duels, but isolated one at a time. Snakebite dealing double damage now with every bullet, and Bone Cold just shy of the 3k leaves Killez to clean it up. That was a textbook retake from Raise Your Edge Gaming. So much pressure applied that OG could never get themselves set up to play off their teammates.
this would be a good segment for a weatherman, you know, to like break down how that retake happened, because it was really beautiful. And I mean, it was beautiful because the opponents couldn't like back out, you know. So that utility that Razor Edge was using was meant to be effective, right? The recon arrow, no one can destroy it because there's other stuff happening. One of the attackers has to plant the bomb. No other way. You have to commit to the plant. So there's 4 people like ready on the side that have to deal with all the utility, and that the Sky ultimate with 3 Seekers that you have to destroy. And we have seen that the Seekers were such a big distraction that one of the players, if I'm not mistaken, that was only by he couldn't even shoot at his opponent pushing with it because his recon was just way over the place. And the recon arrow was so effective, spotting, if I'm not mistaken, 4 players on the side, giving so much information to Razor Edge how to approach the game. Then the Viper still has the snake spice to clear corners and just push out someone from that pocket. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The only thing that happened could have gone wrong if the last alive player from the attackers, because he was actually in a spot where he could isolate the fights. If he wins the first fight, then he is actually capable of clutching that round. But that didn't happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is one of the things that we've noticed Razor Edge are quite good on defense, is getting back in, like just applying an insane amount of pressure to their opponents. And I wonder if it's almost their downfall on attack that they attempt the same sort of hyper-aggressive style that just didn't really see any dividends before. I'm excited with the Viper to see what they can manage on the attacking side, because I think that's really where the spice is. You know, defense, there's a couple of setups that we see come through again and again, but I haven't seen anybody reinvent the wheel all too much. If you look at what Fnatic and FBX do, I think you get a pretty well-rounded approach of what defense Viper can look like. But it feels like every time I look at the attack, there's new ideas. There's just so many things you can do with that set of utility.
Yeah, I agree. Viper's one of those characters that I feel like is very similar to Astra when it comes to the gameplay. She's a little bit more aggressive because the way her utility works, right? You have to be a little bit more committed. She's not as flexible as Astra, but Viper has still a very high skill ceiling that is not really discovered fully. And a player that will master Viper, especially in the future, because we know that she's gonna get a buff, maybe even a significant one, it might be putting her in a position of a top tier agent. She's very playable now, but what if she gets that buff and it is going to be super impactful? What if she gets a second smoke? Oh my. That would be too broken. That would be too broken.
Don't be giving ideas out there, Lothar. Oh man, I don't want to see any buffs.
What about if the Viper heals in the ultimate?
I think we're running into dangerous territory here, man. Because what you pop an ult, you take a fight inside with a phantom, you just run to the other side, you're full HP. I don't know. It's getting
all broken ideas, right? All broken ideas. Now, I feel like if I would have made the change, I would probably just make the fuel go up to 125 instead of 100, and increase the equip time on all of her utility, because there's many times you die as a Viper while equipping a snakebite or while doing the ultimate, and it's kind of awkward to play because you're being limited by the way the utility just takes time to set up. But hey, there's the round, another one. 7-0 currently for Razor Edge. OG needs to bring it up. They need at least 2-3 rounds if they want to make it easier a little bit on the defense. And right now they are struggling. They don't have a lot of cash. Razor Edge is like fully equipped. They can do everything what they want.
Yeah, for Razor Edge, it's going to be a pretty tough task if you look at the ultimates from OG, but we'll see how they deal with that. At the moment, it was a 3-man A stack to start things off, but so far it feels like OG have a fairly heavy preference for B. That maybe they've given themselves, or they've had a read of that themselves, because they fake out presence. They look to make noise on long and push some fights, but I don't know why Onibai is going already. Did they think that they'd fully rotated? I think that's a gamble, that maybe Razor Edge were going to like super quick rotate to the B site now. That didn't happen. Whatever their idea was, it hasn't paid off. TP to back site reveals one player. They know another to be over towards elbow. Site is now clear. They can jump out with the smoke that's down and only worry about Bone Cold covering the cross. He's not going to be caught by the rays as he crosses over back to the other side of elbow, and he should be relatively safe. In comes that ultimate though, and it takes down CNET on the rotate. That's a huge opening kill to have. Taking CNET out on a retake, that off now not to be worried about in the same fashion, but There's damage going down to Omen. Unko is stuck in the corner. He got spammed. Still alive. Heals go back up for the Raise Your Edge side, but time is being eaten away at this point. They need to make a move soon. They're destroying the wall. Element catches one, and he's not silly enough to re-peek that from up top. He knows they'd be holding it, so he falls back. Now peeking below, Killaz goes, and bone cold. He's left in a 1v4, coming out to look for the players on site. Time is so low, but he'll go for it anyways. They've got money to spend, but they will not win the round. OG, 7-1. A big deficit on their part, but at least they've got their first round on the board.
I agree. Although I think so that if I would have been Raise Your Edge in this case with the last man standing, I would have just played time. Tried to get as many people died to the spike, damage their economy even further because they're on such a low buys every single round, right? As well, and they have to rebuy everything because they use all of their utility. They lose a lot of guns, and it would have been a little bit awkward for them to actually rebuy all of that. But a very good round by OG. Although it did start with a very odd choice of just pushing down mid by Onibai and just not doing much, just dry peeking mid for CNED to get a kill.
Give CNED kills, he'll take every single opportunity, but this man here, bone cold. He's been looking good all series long. He's kind of the unsung hero of the previous map. Was he just sat there with his ult ready to go?
Yeah, I was like,
So...
What's the point? I know. The res from Sage, he was prepared to use it instantly if the res happens. So he comes out, here we go, but is there was... Yes, it is prepared. The orbital strike just counters the utility from Sage. The res doesn't do much, and they gave out also information of what's happening right now. So it's pretty awkward because Razor Edge now knows that they're gonna go through a short, and one guy is in showers. He got scanned through the wall, finished by the Hunter's Fury. Terrible, terrible round now unfolding for OG.
Yeah, they need this. They want to chain together rounds and get that confidence up, but it's not looking likely to be happening anytime soon. They know now that it's a B hit, hearing two players come through. Unko lurking on the other side of the map, catches a kill. Starzo out with the flash. He's trying to delay as much time as he can. 17 seconds on the clock, and Colda Menta blindsides Element. Perfectly played by Starzo there. He's really just being the distraction, screaming, I'm over here, I'm over here. Bang, his teammate comes in from behind, and Unko's stuck in this smoke. He is dead as can be at this point. They're spamming him. He's 30 HP, and Colda Menta triples it up to close that out. 8-1. They win a round and immediately get shut down. Raise Your Edge, really showing what they're capable of here.
Oh yeah, I love the play by Starzo here. Playing very confidently, but at the same time very smart. Like, you know, he's confident. He can peek that. He can win that fight. But why? It doesn't matter, right? He doesn't need the kill for the entire team to win. He just needs to be a distraction for the last guy because he's so hyper-focused, tunneled, like on to kill this guy on Garden that he is not paying attention to what's happening on the other side of the site. And because of that, just Starzo just flashes him, then the recon bolt just happens and it's finished. He's finished up. So pretty well played by Starzo. In the meantime, Cena just gets another first blood. It's nothing special. He does it every single round. So
it's just a CNED. Yeah, but we could do that for like aces for 2K, 3Ks. Like, yeah, that's CNED. That's pretty much the only summary we need. The dude's a beast, and we said defensive side with the op. We expect nothing less from him. Look at these snake bites. They're used to delay so much time. As soon as you spot with that wolf that there are still players, sorry, tiger, that there's still players outside there, you're going to just be firing off. Killaz did miss the second snake bite, not actually blocking them from running through, but they would be on such a narrow angle anyways, running through one way that you don't imagine they'd get much done. The ult orb being taken inside of, was that Bath? But hold on, Bone Cold on the side swipe. I thought he had more than that in the tank, but Vic deals with him perfectly. The flash reveals a player as they now know that Sova's walking out on B, but CNED up close should be able to deal with that. There we go. I think he missed his op shot and had to go to Classic. A lot of damage being done by OG in a round where realistically they shouldn't be able to get up to much. And I like that Starzo doesn't commit to the push. It's a 2v2, and healing up his teammate versus Sheriffs is more important than actually taking the fight.
Yeah, I agree. And this kind of turned around on his head, but CNET doesn't matter. This guy just shows on defense he is undefeated. He opens up the retake. 2 versus 1. They are still separated. There's a chance for 1v1 for AKM to take it, but he has a hard task. Like, even if he hits that headshot from the Sheriff, I feel like this is over 30 meters and it would only deal 145 damage. And then before the second shot lands, there's a high chance that Starkster just gets a kill with the Vandal in his hands. By the way, Bone Cold is sitting at 14k. 2 more than CNET.
I'm glad as well because he is a consistent player. Now, he's had some 3Ks versus an Eco, for example, and a couple like doubles here and there. For the most part, though, he's just a quietly consistent player. You see what he's able to do with his utility belt. I mean, how many rounds? This is the thing about... I'm glad he's top of the scoreboard because it's very easy to highlight, like, oh, he's doing well because he's got a lot of kills. And that rings true with a lot of people, right? But the thing is, we could make a highlight reel of everything that he's done in this map. Like, not kills, but I mean utility usage, positioning, playing off his teammates. And he's just so good to look at and to watch play. It's really a pleasure to watch Raise Your Edge right now because, as I said before, they were like a pug team with an aim star, and now, in my opinion, they're really one of the top contenders within that top 10 of Europe. I'm really a big fan of this team.
Yeah, that is true, but still, the big task is the attack rounds, right? They might be just rolling over OG right now, and it's a matter of like getting that confidence on the attack rounds. But if they would have, start on the attack on this map, this could have been a completely different map. Now it's still not over till it's over, but it's not looking good for OG. They start the attack on B long, this time with the drone. Again, Bone Cold in the same position as always, but Starkster dies and he's alone. He has to teleport to A. Now B is entirely open. CNET still holding it. He sees players in. Hookah, he misses the shot, gets naded out and then traded only by. He was cut off with utility so well.
We said 3 rounds for OG is where we need to see them at a minimum. And that's provided that Raise Your Edge have a tough second half. Look at this spray down. And Coldamenta even gets him afterwards, down to 33 HP. This is winnable on the retake, and that's scary. Coldamenta goes down with his low HP. Bone Cold should be soon following, and indeed he is. AKM cleaning house with that raise and putting 2 rounds on the board now for OG. 1 needed for them to have a position to work from, really. If you don't manage, if you get 10-2'd, a pistol round loss almost seals your fate where it is, because when you're looking at all these ultimates that your opponents have to work with, it seems impossible that they don't manage to clock up some rounds with the way they're playing right now.
Yeah, and this is the most important round for OG, also to use all of those ultimates that they have available. AKM has the Showstopper, Twig has the Hunter's Fury. This has to be used to take control of a site or use Postplan when it comes to Hunter's Fury, but I would love to see it just to get a kill and open it up. Bone Cold with the Orbital Strike. Crucial part of this round if he wants to delay a plant or then just retake after it. We'll see how that will be used. Both teams actually have 3 ultimates now. Attack is being prepped by OG. 4 people just creeping up garden. Entire side is open, but I feel like that's because of the orbital strike. Heal happening from the sky. Killis is on 83 HP. There's the plant. There's the ultimate from Viper. There's no orbital strike to delay the plant.
No, they're going to keep that for post plants by the look of it. They hope that at the moment... oh, wow. Okay, that was a showstopper just thrown away. Quickly fired in towards spawn, hoping they were actually seizing the space that... well, they just weren't. This is going to be a little bit awkward now because that ult covers a lot of space, but it doesn't actually cover the spike. So they'll need to do something and actually push out of the ult, which is almost more difficult. Coldamenta picks up 1, but CNED's dropped his ultimate now out of the game. Spray down full blind works, and they manage to open space, push the players back on long. Hunter's Fury deals with Coldamenta, leaving just Bone Cold. He dodges the first, but he's got to get in there for the defuse, doesn't want to get tagged, and he can't stick it. There's no time for him to do that. Smoke would dissipate, he'd be dead, and in the end, it's 9-3. OG get their desired rounds and a half that isn't ideal, but if Raise Your Edge play the way they did previously on attack, it might be enough.
That is true. That this round was so important for, like, let's say a small bit of comfort for OG on that defensive side, but now they're gonna have a big task of winning the pistol round. It's gonna be also instrumental for their well-being. I have to double guess though this round from Raise Your Edge. I liked how Bone Cold used the ultimate to like cut off the entire garden and the pocket next to garden to make sure they can retake the site. But at the same time, that orbital strike could have been used on site to delay the plant and regain control of it a little bit as well. I'm not sold entirely of how was this made, because then the Viper ult could have been also used differently. But hey, it's already happening. We need to go into that pistol round.
We do. It's underway. Camera spotted and taken down. Killaz steals away that information. And as well as that, Paranoia just got used. That's huge utility out of the round straight away for OG. Raise your edge, baiting them perfectly, but they've actually ran onto the site, so now it's a bit awkward because the spike is here and they've lost control over Hookah. But it's all a big ruse, a big fake, as they now look to move towards the site of A. The TP's underway. CNED, we've seen this position used before, lurking out. Unko used it. And oh my god, okay. Through the wall, he's taken down. Cold Mensa fails to cut off rotations as well. The flank now open, and the spike still not made it to sight. Only now does the wall go up, and they cross over, and it looks like they want to do more than just that. Killa is looking to force the fight. He's crept up behind them, already taking the fight inside of Lambs. And never mind, Starzo actually cleans house. There's the flash, spotting out both players, but a little bit late, because the kill comes through. Spike still not planted, not even being attended, because they don't have the space to do so. Bone Cold gets spotted and stuck inside of Lamps. He's being wall banged at the moment, clipped in the back down to 45 HP, and he's going to go for the teleporter. Oh, this is a big mistake. They're leaving him open to do it. He could TP and get a spike plant on B. But it's a little risky. He'd have to jump on out. 10 seconds, no time anymore, really. He's got to force the fights, and it's just not going to happen. A 4K for Munko to close out the round, and a much-needed pistol for OG.
Much needed, as you said, but honestly, a little bit unlucky for Raise Your Edge to play the way they played, because I felt like CNED had a great lurk opportunity, but he was peeking a little bit too much, and it was very smart from OG to have still 3 people check that site. If someone is still there, they had a lot of time before the plant goes in, and they knew that the Raise can delay people going for showers with one of her paint shells, which was super crucial for them to check for that lurker role. And I feel like there was still an opportunity for Razor Edge to use the teleporter right after they got the kill on Lamps and just get back to B. But hey, again, they are super fast. I cannot even talk about what's happening in the previous round because they're already executing on site. But quick feeding on Raise Your Edge. Will he get the ace? He gets it. First ace of the day.
That's a nice little 5K for Vic. I mean, look, if you're talking about confidence builders, I think that's about as good as it gets. You completely shut down a push all by yourself. Utility, weapons, absolutely everything playing a role in it, and even taking a couple of bullets, a couple of scars to tell the kids about. I like it. I like it a lot from Vic. And at this point, you know, yeah, it's versus classics, but I really don't want to undersell how important it is to have these sort of individual rounds when you're down, when you're behind. You know, Tvik is feeling revitalized, energized, and ready to go.
Yeah, and it might be a repeat of the history that we have seen 2 days ago when Razor Edge was playing on Bind and they were winning 9-3 and then still lost the map. And I don't want to be a prophet, but this might happen again. Let's see how they approach the attack. This is so crucial. Now, this round is a full buy for Razor Edge, but there's a ultimate available for Tvik because of that ace that he got previous round. This can be used either offensively or aggressively. Offensively or defensively. Depends on what he wants to achieve with it. He didn't use the drone, if I'm not mistaken yet. Or did he? I don't think so. Which can be used to get a tag and then proceed to transfer that into a kill. Otherwise, he was just gonna use it for to delay a plant. But now the entire team of Raise Your Edge is playing a very awkward positioning on the map. Viper took the control of showers. She's just waiting there to see if someone is peeking. In the meantime, 4 people just went and did the rotations from A short to B. 4 people on the long, 3 people on the long B, currently hovering after the drone. No information's gained. They destroyed the trap. Crucial information. Now they know they can just walk on the side. Cypher still in hookah, gets a kill on Bone Cold. They lost the smokes. They were already used on side, so it doesn't change much. But in the meantime, Kai clicks with the kill on B. He gets that crucial kill. They get the info. Where's the other player? But 14 seconds left.
Gotta go. They've got to get that plant. Luckily, CNED in the back, able to take down Vic. AKM falls, but Unko's here to harass this final player. Starzo stuck on the spot. He knows now that heaven is clear. Surely, he knows they're both on mid. Your Seekers went that way. Starzo? Okay, there's one kill. Finally. Now he's looking for the second, knows that it's Cypher, and up close through the cage. Onibai makes the mistake of challenging Starzo and gets dropped. 10-5. Raise your edge, getting away with a great round. I love the fact that, first of all, weird to me, OG left bathroom open. They allowed the ult orb to be taken. Usually you'll see teams fight for that control, but they make the decision to play passive. Then Killez is lurking inside a bathroom, and a little bit of a fake. I mean, I don't think that was even that convincing. A drone and a flash went up B long. They didn't spot anything, but it's because of Cypher. Cypher's cam was in hookah, and he was in hookah, so he couldn't actually tell anybody whether there was 5 players there or 2. And as soon as the TPs are heard on mid and Bone Cold dies, bang, they're TPing long, they're taking the fight, and it was just glorious. Now, though, look, they're actually fighting for that bathroom control this time around. A little bit of a switch up.
But take a look at the positioning of Viper. She's actually in the teleport, trying to get a kill one at some point, but she will be droned out. She wasn't seen. I think she wasn't seen. Will that be used for their advantage?
Toxins going up.
Yeah, that's gonna be a bit awkward now. You know, if you're in that position, if they manage to force rotates, but it looks like they're gonna leave the teleporter altogether, so never mind. OG. 4 players on A side. They seem to love this. Or 3, sorry. I don't know how I miscounted there. 3 players on the A side. Of course, it was a push down long that granted a kill, and they just back off. Then they drop CNED the lurker on A mid, and at this point, raise your edge. And in a pretty tough spot, they want to dodge that recon arrow, and they do so successfully. The final burst coming out now as they start to move towards long quickly. A full rotate on A. Finally, there are 4 players there. Boney had saved that for a few seconds. Starzo starts to go through hookah. Now, look at the Sova on site. He's not in a position to really get any information whatsoever. It's the camera that has to spot them. But this means their reaction time is going to be very, very limited. As this camera activates and doesn't spot anybody, they destroy it. Okay,
as well.
Yeah, actually, they did so that now they know the players are coming out, and this is where Sova might be able to catch them off guard. He pushes through the cage, and there you go. Well played by Tvik. Beautiful angles for him, realizing that they would think Cypher was here somewhere, but they wouldn't imagine he'd be there as well.
Yeah, I really like how Tvik played that angle because of and he was allowed to do that because of the trap that was guarding his other flank. So this is a very crucial play by Tvik, and then allowed the Cypher cage allowed him to change his positioning. So all around, I really liked how OG played this defensively. But I have to point out, like, raise your edge, and don't be mistaken here. Raise your edge here is on attack, not on defense because of the colors. Raise your edge is playing very slow. They're trying to plant the spike in the last 10 seconds. It's a very uncomfortable position to be in because of the fact that you cannot fake those. You have to go. Your opponent knows what's going on, and they can just take advantage of that with their utility.
And being able to keep themselves in it mentally is one of the most impressive things for OG at the moment. I like the change-ups that they're having. They go between completely conceding control over bathroom and fighting for it with a wall even. This time, though, they're not going to get any reward. As they did a little bit of damage, the CNED is low. It's a full push up through B. It's already granted them an opening kill. They look for more with the flash around the corner. Smoke's going to go down, and possibly a spike plant too off the back of that. This is a little bit awkward now for OG. You know, they've given away a kill to a very, very low buy. So that's a retrieved weapon, first of all, and they're now going to have to play retake versus a Viper ultimate. When you've got those weaker weapons, that's exactly where a Viper ult can thrive in forcing you to take those close-range fights.
Especially with a Spectre or a Phantom that has a suppressor and you can see or hear where the shots are coming from. So this is crucial ultimate right now, even though it's not entirely on the spike. Seen it with the free kill, and then a great crossfire on the hookah. Coldamenta, even though he has just a classic, he is in a great position to guard the spike. Starks with another killer element. It's falling apart for OG. Seems like 11 rounds is gonna be a given. Uncle will not even try. He knows this is it. He needs to save the weapon. Oh, that is really painful for OG right now.
He gets another kill as well. Coldamenta was trying to hunt him down, but got shut down on long. And with that, I mean, a round that, honestly, I don't think going into it, if you raise your edge, you don't expect to win. You have an ultimate, you have some small weapons, but for the most part, this is a, let's see how much damage we can do.
Exactly.
And instead, just a 1-2 Uniflu, they get dropped.
Yeah, Twig has to be beating himself because he basically donated a gun, right? A rifle to Element during that decision making when he just peeked and died. So it's very awkward because you feel like you let your teammates down by doing simple mistakes like this when you don't really have to fight, or you can just take long range fights when they cannot retrieve the weapon. Now, that smoke could have saved the position for Cypher, but it did not work out. But still, a good hold. Razor Edge doesn't want to push. Keelys dies in hookah, but they still manage to get the side control. They don't know if someone is in the tube. They didn't check it though. This could have been painful if someone was still there. There's a plan. There was a plan to delay the plant with the paint shells on default spot, but it's being planted in the middle of this side, and now a full 5 people retake against the forces of Razor Edge. That cross replacement, that doesn't pay dividends.
Oh, he gets nothing for it. The 1 kill traded out straight away by Bone Cold and CNED, but they've lost control over the site. Here's where you can have this ultimate come in huge. It's dropped down, and it's forcing the fight, grabbing himself a triple, and Bone Cold, he gets the triple kill. He gets the round, and we're looking at match and series point for Razor Edge.
Bone Cold with the triple.
Oh my god. I'll pay any money. Just give me my dog back.
Did it fit? I hope it did.
It really sounds like a ransom letter in a movie, like, we have your dog, $10,000.
But hey, Bone Cold, this guy is putting in numbers. This map, and for sure in overall, like, he was consistent 2 days ago. He is consistent today. They might have a star player in form of CNED, but Bone Cold putting his name on the map of promising players.
Absolutely. I mean, connected himself a spot for his team now where they're just 1 round in 6 away from closing this out. I mean, that's about as strong as it gets. I love this strat actually with the nade. Like, you're guaranteed damage there most of the time. So you're not guaranteed. But, you know, 60% of the time it works. 20% of the time. He gets some damage in because they're trying to break the wall. They're up close, and then, boom, nade comes through. Bounces off the wall nicely. Gets some good momentum on it. I love that idea. But as we come into the final stages of this round, you have to take a look at ultimates, and with a Hunter's Fury and a Showstopper in play for OG, this is somewhere that you can't really afford to fully commit towards an angle at the very start of the round. And actually, Hunter's Fury returned to do damage to Tvik. He's taken a bit of a hit now, but he dealt out a good amount of damage at the same time. You're going to go straight out onto the site, or are you? That's what they want the defenders to think as they TP over towards long. But a curious decision. They don't go through bathroom, knowing that they have control there from earlier. They're moving to mid instead, and this is going to be a TP back to the B side, I think. They've already got 1 kill, and now they've got to deal with 1 more. He's taken down, and do they consider going back? No, they're finding all the kills. Unko traded on to bring it into a 2 versus 3. Spike planted. Ultimate's now out of the question. Showstopper didn't even get popped at such a crucial time, and OG could be in serious danger. Cold Dementa certainly is walking through that snake bite. They won't expect him in the corner, though. That's the whole plan for OG. They're split on this retake. They have to take 1vx fights, and this is Sova on the first one, walking straight into Starzo. Cold Dementa was there to trade, and Oni buys only got a bookie buy. This is going to be pretty tough. Even going to the classic at the start, Killaz shuts him down. 13-6. Razor Edge Gaming absolutely dismantle OG.